See, up to yesterday, solid listeners completed. Next concept, filters. Next concept, filters. See, solid listeners, you have seen automatically executed by web container, solid listeners. Okay. And now next concept, filters. It is also related to solids only. Filters, note down. A filter is an object that can be declaratively inserted in a container process. A filter is an object that can be declaratively inserted in a container process. Filter provides the only mechanism by which we can plug in code between request and response. Filter provides the only mechanism by which we can plug in code between request and response. I'll explain, just write it. Filter provides the only mechanism by which we can plug in code between request and response. Filter provides the only mechanism by which we can plug in code between request and response. Say, what's the difference between solid and filter? See, solid supports static dispatching, whereas filter supports dynamic dispatching. I'll explain what is that. Just write this one. Solid supports static dispatching, whereas filter supports dynamic dispatching. Solid supports static dispatching, whereas filter supports dynamic dispatching. Whatever I given, I'll explain. Say, you studied solid forwarding, solid including, solid redirecting. Three concepts you studied: solid forwarding, solid including, solid redirecting. And it is related to that type only. See, suppose it is web server. It is web server. Here, it is one solid. It is one more solid. Now, here you'll write forward. Here you'll write forward. Suppose this is first solid. This is second solid. Now, you are sending request from client system to first request, first solid. You are sending request to client system from browser, sending to first solid. Okay. You are sending request to first solid. First solid code executed. This first solid code executed. Request and response forwarded to second solid. Second solid executed. the response comes to client system. Like this, you studied. But here, what you are writing is to which servlet you want to forward the request and response. That is, you are writing here only. Okay. If you want to change, again, you have to open this program, you have to change. But filters, what will happen is that code no need to write here. That code you can write in XML file. That code you can write in web.xml file. So this is no need to write. No need to write here to which servlet you want to forward, to which filter you want to forward. No need to write. That is, you can write in the XML file. That is called declaratively. This is called programmatically. To which servlet you are forwarding, that servlet URL pattern you are writing here. That is called programmatically. Here, if you write, that is called declaratively. That is the main difference. Here programmatically, here declaratively. So your request and response you are forwarding into which servlet. That information you are writing here only. But if you use filters, that is no need to write. See, a filter is an object that can be declaratively. It is not programmatically, declaratively. Declaratively means XML file. So in XML file, you will specify to which servlet you want to pass the control. That is declaratively. You are writing in a servlet means it is programmatically. You are writing in XML means declaratively. And here, filter provides the only mechanism by which we can plug in code between request and response. See, for example, this is one servlet, this is one servlet, this is one servlet. Like this, you have already you written forward. Again, you written forward. Already written. Now, in between, one more servlet or one more filter if you want to insert. One more filter if you want to insert. In between. Actually, you have to change this program, you have to change this program. But if it is filter, not required. Any time in between, this can be inserted. If you don't want, you can remove. That is called, you can plug in code, you can plug out code. So if required, add the code. If you don't want, remove the code. That is called plugin. Filter provides the only mechanism by which we can plug in code between request and response. From client system, request comes until getting response. In between, wherever you want that code, you can plug in, you can plug out. That mechanism supported by filter. But what is the use? I'll explain. This is only. Servlet supports static dispatching, whereas filter support dynamic dispatching. What is static? What is dynamic? I'll explain. First one task I'll give. That is, whatever you studied these many classes, with that knowledge, give answer. I'll ask one question. Okay, whatever you studied up to yesterday class, with that knowledge, how to implement, try to give answer. With that, you'll understand filters. Okay. Now, from Servlet's first class onwards up to yesterday, Servlet listeners, whatever you studied, with that knowledge, try to give answer. Okay. Now, suppose it is login page. It is login page. It is suppose mail login.html. It's on HTML page. Mail login.html. Username, password. Here, one username will type, one password will type. We'll click on submit button. Okay. Submit button. Now, this is mail application related. Mail login.html. Okay. Mail login.html. Username, password, will click on submit button. Then here, one servlet. It is mail login servlet.java. Okay. It will receive whatever you enter username, whatever you enter password, these two fields received by mail login servlet. It will receive username, whatever you typed, password, whatever you typed, it is received. After receiving, it will check in the database. Given username, password exists or not, it will check. Given username and password exists or not, it will check. Given username, password, it is exist or not, it will check it. Here, database. Say, username, password exist or not, it will check it. If exist, suppose, if exist, here, I'll pass the control to next solid. If does not exist, invalid username or password. Okay. If exist, either forward or redirect. Anyone. Here, mail solid. It is mail solid .java. Here, mail solid. Here, mails are displayed. Here, mails are displayed. Okay. This is one program. Here, one more. It is chart application, charting application, chart login.html. Here, same username, password. It's on username, password. It is submit button. When you click on submit button, here when you click on submit button, this is required. Here when you click on submit button, chart login solid. Java. Here same, it will receive username, it will receive password. Here username, password received. Username, password received. Received username, password, it will check in the database, exist or not. If exist, here I'll forward or redirect to chart solid. Else, invalid username or password. Invalid username or password. Here, chart solid. Okay. Now it is charting program opened here. Chart box opened. Chart box code. Now, first of all, you observe mail login.html, chart login.html. These two pages you observe. There and here, same code or different code? Same code, but one word different. One word, URL pattern. There, action equal to this solid URL pattern. Here, action equal to chart solid URL, chart login solid URL pattern. So, you are going to write here form action equal to this solid URL pattern. Here form action equal to this solid URL pattern. So URL pattern only different. The remaining code is same. This code, same or different? Same. Here also only one word different. One word. Here either forward or redirect will write. To which solid you are forwarding, that URL pattern. Here to which solid you are forwarding, that URL pattern. One word. Okay. So HTML pages are same. HTML pages are same. Only one word different URL pattern. These two solids also different. One word different. That is URL pattern of this solid, URL pattern of this solid. Okay. This solid URL pattern will write here. This solid URL pattern will write here. That is only different. Okay. That is only different. Here URL pattern of this solid, URL pattern of this solid. That is different. Remaining is same. Now, this application I want to implement, and here instead of writing two solids, one solid only I want to write for both. Possible or not possible? If it is possible, how it is possible? If not possible, why it is not possible? Think and give answer. If it is possible, how it is possible? If not possible, why it is not possible? Like that, you have to give answer. First of all, my question. Understood? My question. My question, is it clear? That is HTML. HTML, leave it. These two solids. Okay. Mail login solid, chart login solid. These two solids. Instead of writing two, one only I want to write for both. One only I want to write for both. If possible, how? If not possible, why? Think yourself and give answer. If possible, how? If not possible, why? First, my question is clear. Is it clear? Two solids, same code will be there. Only one word different. Like mail login solid, mail solid URL pattern there. Chart solid URL pattern here. Like that, one word only different actually. Instead of writing two solids, I want to write one solid only for both the problems. If possible, what we have tried. If not possible, why it is not possible. Think and give answer. Your answer can be right or wrong. Online students, 6 members give an answer. That later we'll see. First you give answer. Okay. Because yesterday I was seen. After seeing that answer auto boxing, I'm casting you an answer. No. If possible, how? If not possible, why? HTML, whatever you want, leave it. HTML, whatever you want, you can do it. But two solids place one solid I want to write. Two solids place one solid I want to write. Up to yesterday class, whatever you studied, with that knowledge, try to give answer. First, possible or not possible? Possible. What you have tried? Listener. Listener, what will write? Which listener will write? What will write? What will do there? That is connection code we written. What will write? Okay, solid context listener. Solid context listener, context initialized method, context destroyed method. What will write? Connection will write. The connection there also record, again here also record. But this complete code will write there? No. That is deployment time only executed. Before getting username password only executed. Before getting username password only context listener called. So that is wrong. Next. First you select your answer, possible or not possible. After that, give reason. Now, instead of writing two solids, I want to write one solid. Instead of writing two solids, I want to write one solid. See, Mail solid. This is anyhow different. Chart solid. This is anyhow different. But these two solids, same code will be there. Instead of writing two solids, one solid I want to write for both. If possible, how? If not possible, why? Session tracking. What we have to write? Session tracking, initialization parameter, context parameter, you are selecting one answer, but how to do? Think. What we have to store in client system? Username, password. Username, password. First we have to receive username, password. After receiving, we have to store in cookie variable. Cookie variable stored. After that cookie variables here also you can retrieve. Next. Here we can retrieve. We can retrieve. That means one solid you want to write. Now after writing, how will understand whether it is user logged for mail or chart? Whether user logged for mail solid or chart solid, how to identify? If else, if condition, what will write? Now, how will understand that user clicked on mail login, that's solid or that solid, that HTML or that HTML? How will understand? How will understand? Like mail solid submit button, mail logins clicked or chart login clicked? How to get? If the user clicked that one, redirect this one. User clicked this one, redirect this one. But like that, if condition okay. But how to write? Which is clicked? Which is clicked? How will get it? Otherwise, make it HTML also one page. If you want, you can do whatever you want. HTML you can do, already told. But I want to write solid one. Give me answer. First, how many people answer possible? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Online students. How many will answer not possible? How many will answer not possible? Remaining people? That is everyday continued. No answer, everyday continued. Filter, I'll explain. Filter, without filter, I'm asking. Here, one person given answer, Deepali. Take 2 buttons action. That is one facility is there. You already studied. See, what you can do is 2 buttons you can write. 2 submit buttons in a one HTML. If you click on any submit button, same solid we can execute. That is one facility is there. See, what you can do like this. Suppose username, password. Here. It is one submit button. It is one more submit button. Now submit button name only. Suppose I'll write mail. I'll write login chart. Now which button clicked? We can find out. Get parameter. Now you are getting this value. How you are getting? Get parameter method on, here also get parameter. What you can do? Which button clicked? If you click on this one, this value comes. If you click on this one, this value comes. If mail button clicked, forward to mail. Chart button clicked, forward to chart. That is one option possible. Okay. Here two submit buttons you can write. Submit button value here mail. Here submit button value chart. If we click on this submit button, that value we can retrieve. Now which submit button clicked we can find out. Here will receive. If mail submit button clicked, forward to mail solid. Chart submit button clicked, chart solid. What you can do is here, for this submit button, name you can write only one. Say here, while writing here, you can do like this. Input type equal to submit. Name equal to something operation. Value equal to mail. One more. Input type equal to submit. Name equal to operation. Value equal to chart. You can write. In a solid program, what you can do? You can write this one. String s equal to request dot get parameter. Parameter name operation. Then what will get it as here? If mail submit button clicked, mail comes. Chart submit button clicked, chart comes. Here you can write if s dot equals mail. Here forward or redirect to mail solid. Else forward or redirect to chart solid. It is possible. This is one option. Okay. Not only this one, multiple options possible. How? HTML you studied, no? HTML batch also you are attending, no? No. This is one option. What you can do? Two submit buttons you can create like this. Two submit buttons you can create. For both the submit button, name is operation. Value is mail. Value is chart. Now request dot get parameter operation. Suppose you selected mail. You clicked on mail. Then S contains mail. You clicked on chart. S contains chart. If S dot equals mail, then forward or redirect to mail solid. Else forward or redirect to chart solid. This is one option. One more option. What you can do is here two radio buttons you can take. Two radio buttons. One radio button mail. One radio button chart. Okay. Radio button mail. This radio button chart. Submit button only one. One submit button only. One submit button. You will type username. You will type password. You will choose option. Mail. Click on submit. Then that request parameter will get it. If it is mail selected, forward to mail. Chart selected, forward to chart. It is one more option. Possible, no? Otherwise, you can do combo box. Combo box selection, one item possible, no? Combo box, list box. Okay, combo box you can write. So like this, combo box appears. You can click. It shows mail or chart. Which item selected based on that. One more option with HTML. Then solid condition you can write. Which item selected? If mail selected, mail. Chart selected, chart. That type we can write. But here, more than one submit button you can write. That is one option. More than one radio button you can write. That is one option. Or more than one item you can write in the combo box. You can do it. But your problem is in future, One more service may comes. Now present mail is there, chat is there. In future, shopping also comes. Then what you have to do? Again, that HTML you have to modify. Again, Sowlet you have to modify, else if you have to write. Again, one more service may comes in future. That again you have to add, again you have to modify HTML, again you have to modify Sowlet. But instead of that, we can use filter anytime. You can add filter anytime, you can remove. If you want to add the service, you can add. If you want to remove the service, you can remove without effect on HTML and Sowlets. It is possible with filters. It is possible here at present, okay. But in future, if you want to add one more service, again you have to modify HTML, you have to modify Sowlet. But with filter, it is more better. How? I'll show you. That purpose will go for filters. First of all, whatever I given just now diagram, no, that is called static dispatching. That is called static dispatching. Name what I given, filters I given. This JV. This is. Now, this is given. Here URL pattern fixed. Here URL pattern fixed. That's what it is called static dispatching. Now URL pattern dynamically can pass. That is called dynamic dispatching. This is static dispatching example. Now with the dynamic dispatching, I'll explain. You write this one. Static dispatching example. Static dispatching example. Now I'll show you dynamic. All right, this one. So here, whatever you are writing URL pattern, that is fixed. We cannot change. If you want to change again, you have to compile the program. That's what it is called static dispatching. Dynamically how to pass, that is possible with filters. With XML file we can pass. See, if you want to change the URL pattern here, this program you have to change, you have to compile again. This program also you have to change, you have to compile. Now dynamically you can pass through XML. That is, I'll show you. First, is it over? Now this one only with filters, how to do, you observe. Is it over? See. With filters, suppose it is mail login.html. Okay, just I'll write login. Later you can add whatever you want. Login.html. Say login form. Login form, username, password, submit button, reset button, this is a login.html. I'll write here, I'll write login filter. It is suppose welcome solid. Here login filter. Now what I'll do is, listen with more concentration. I'll type username, I'll type password. When I click on submit button, I'll write the code for welcome solid. Welcome solid URL pattern I'll write here. What I'll do in web.xml, you observe, what I'll do in web.xml is, in a web.xml, here, when you click on submit button, welcome solid executed. I'll write the code here. I'll write the code here. If the request comes to welcome solid, divert the control to login filter. Like that I'll write. That is, I'll write in XML. When request comes to welcome solid, divert the control to login filter. So you'll click on submit button. Then request comes here. You are already configured. Whenever request comes to welcome solid, divert the control to login filter. Then control diverted. Control diverted to login filter. Login filter executed. Here, it will receive username, password. It will receive username, password. These two, username and password, it will check in the database. It will check in the database. Whether it is exists or not, it will check it. Here, database. Given username, password exists or not, it will check it. Here, if exist, here, what I'll do, here I'll write the code. If any other filter configured, execute other filter. If not configured, divert the control back. Then it comes here. Here, welcome username printed. Here condition false. Then here invalid username password. Now you observe there form action equal to here form action equal to will write welcome solid URL pattern. Form action equal to welcome solid URL pattern will write. Okay. When you click on submit button, control comes to welcome solid, but welcome solid not executed because already in XML it is configured. Welcome, if the control comes to welcome solid, divert the control to login filter. So control diverted to login filter. Login filter executed. It will check in the database. And if exist, here what will do? If any other filter configured in XML, execute other filter. If not configured, send the control back. Then it will come back. Then welcome displayed. Suppose given username password does not exist. Invalid username password, stop it there only. Welcome solid also not executed. Now you observe, if you click on submit button, this solid executed. In between, this is inserted. No? This is inserted. I don't want to insert this one. Remove this. It is removed. You want to add this. It is added. So this filter inserted between login.html welcome solid with XML file. That is plugged. If you don't want, remove configuration, unplugged. So the code can be plugged, unplugged. Whenever required, plug it. If you don't require, plug out. That is with XML. Then no change there. Here also, welcome solid also no change. Login HTML also no change. Suppose this is assume mail application. One more chart application comes in future. What you can do? This type of HTML, one more write. This type of solid, one more write. Same filter, configure in XML. Whenever request comes to chart solid, divert the control to login filter. One more time configure. Again, this is executed. In future, one more service comes, online shopping. Whenever request comes to online shopping, then again divert the control to login filter. So this login filter, in this login filter, I am not writing code to divert the control to welcome solid. I am not writing here. It is dynamic dispatching. Anytime you can break this. Anytime you can add this. Where we are going to write XML. So in future, if any new service comes, use this login filter. Here one more time write it. In a welcome solid to login filter. Here mail solid to login filter. Chart solid to login filter. Shopping solid to login filter. Login for all required. Then you write again and again configure. If not required, remove. What you have to remove? Configuration only you have to remove. So this is dynamic dispatching. See, as compared to Solid's HTML code, whatever I given, many submit buttons, many radio buttons. Instead of that, it is better, no? Anytime you can add, anytime you can remove. This is called dynamic dispatching example. Write this one. Dynamic dispatching example. Dynamic dispatching example. It is called dynamic dispatching. That concept is called dynamic dispatching. So anytime plug in code, anytime you can plug out code. That is dynamic dispatching. That is we are inserting with XML file. That is we are inserting with XML file. So now this filter is reusable. This filter is reusable. Anytime you can use, not only for this application, for other application also we can use. Because this filter to welcome solid, welcome to also filter, that link is not there. The link we are creating dynamically. The dotted lines, that is not dynamic. Here, I am not writing to login filter. Here I am not writing to welcome solid. That is here. In XML is there. Okay. If validated here, then again welcome solid executed. Okay. Otherwise, no. Is it clear? Understood? Suppose it's like a classroom. It's like an office room. Okay. Suppose directly will come to class. Directly will come to class. But office boy, what he'll do? He'll check whether you paid or not fee. Suppose you didn't pay. What he'll do? He'll send back to office. After paying, again he'll come back. That type. Control diverted here. Again it will come back. So here paid means he'll come back here. Not paid means ID card they'll ask. ID card purpose he'll go to office. Again he'll come back. Like that. Here, when you click on submit button, control comes to welcome solid. But welcome solid not executed. Control diverted to login filter. That information I written in XML file. So control diverted to login filter. It will check in the database. If exists, it will come back. Does not exist, invalid username, password, here only stop it. Clear? Now, these dotted links are there, no? Dynamic. Because that URL pattern, this URL pattern, I am not writing there. That is here only, XML configuration. Clear? This is how to do. For this, filters API required. Filters API required. See. Filters API. Otherwise, first 1 minute. Write it. Filter, same as solid. Filter, same as solid. Filters do not have main method because filter runs in server. Filters do not have main method because filter runs in server. Filter has lifecycle method to run in server. Filter same as solid. Filters do not have main method because filter runs in server. Filter has lifecycle methods to run in server. Lifecycle methods of a filter. Init, do filter, destroy. Init, do filter, destroy. Init, do filter, destroy. Solid life cycle. Init, service, destroy. Same style. Init, do filter, destroy. 3 methods. Okay. When init method called by web container in solids, pass request. Service method, every request. Destroy, whenever web application is undeployed or server shuts down. Same here also, but service place do filter is there. Service place do filter. Okay. Init, do filter, destroy. Say if first request comes, init method called, do filter method called. Second request comes, do filter. Third request, do filter. Fourth request, do filter. Last request, do filter. Whenever application undeployed, destroy. Okay. Same concept. Now write it. Init method called by web container whenever first request comes to a solid, comes to a filter. Init method called by web container whenever first request comes to a filter. Do filter method called by web container for every request. Init method called by web container whenever first request comes to a filter. Do filter method called by web container for every request. Destroy method called by web container. Destroy method called by web container whenever filter instance is removed from web container. Filter instance is removed whenever web application is undeployed, or server shuts down. Init method called by web container whenever first request comes to a filter. Do filter method called by web container for every request. Destroy method called by web container whenever filter instance is removed from web container. Filter instance is removed from web container. Removed. Filter instance is removed whenever web application is undeployed or server shuts down. So whatever you studied, Soulets, almost same style. Just service place, do filter. See, init method, same. Service place, do filter. Destroy, same. Okay. Whenever first request comes, how many methods called? One method or two methods? Two methods. Init, do filter. Second request, one method, do filter. Third request, one method, do filter. Last request, one method, do filter. Okay. Filter instance, whenever filter instance is removed, then destroy. Destroy method called by container whenever filter instance is removed. Filter instance is going to be removed whenever web application undeployed or server shuts down. Okay. Now write it. The above all lifecycle methods are the part of Jakarta.Soulet.filter interface. The above all lifecycle methods are the part of Jakarta.Soulet.filter interface. Every filter must implements Jakarta.Soulet.filter interface to derive lifecycle. Every filter must implements Jakarta.Soulet.filter interface to derive lifecycle. So every filter must implements Jakarta.Soulet.filter interface to derive lifecycle. Lifecycle methods you have to override. That purpose this is required. See there, every Soulet must implement Soulet interface. But you are extending generic Soulet, you are extending HTTP Soulet. Here also generic filter, HTTP filter is there. I'll show you. See, is it over? Writing is over. See, Java P Jakarta.Soulet.filter. See, methods. Three methods are there. Init, destroy, do filter. Write this one. init, do filter, destroy. See, advanced Java, just for learning frameworks, advanced Java knowledge is required. That's it. In advanced Java, they are not using in a companies. Very small companies they are using. That's what no need to learn very depth advanced Java. Core Java most important. Spring frameworks also important. Spring Boot, microservices important. Advanced Java very depth. 2 years also I can teach advanced Java, but no use. Time waste. That's it. Okay. 2 years also I can teach advanced Java, but no use. Time waste. Core Java important. Spring Boot, Spring important. For learning frameworks, advanced Java knowledge is required. That's what. Okay. Because no one is using Solid, JSP, the JDBC. If they use, it will take more time. But with frameworks, rapid application development is possible. That is the reason all companies are using frameworks only. Okay. Is it over? Say it is default method. It is abstract method. It is default method. That means how many methods compulsory? How many methods compulsory? One method compulsory. It is abstract. Okay. These are default, not compulsory. Now, init method, which will take filter config. Do filter method, Solid request, Solid response, filter chain. Okay, filter chain. Is it over? Is it over? No. But generic filter, HTTP filter also is there. But what is the use? Already here also one method only you can override. Here one method only can one method only compulsory, no? But why generic filter? Why generic filter? Why HTTP filter? Is HTTP solid request, if you want, you can go for that one. See? Say generic filter. So actually previously it was not there. Recently came generic filter, HTTP filter. Say here, get init parameter and get filter config, get solid context. That purpose we go for generic filter. But HTTP filter, HTTP solid request purpose we use. Say why we will choose this one is HTTP filter. HTTP filter, HTTP solid request, HTTP solid response if you want. That purpose we use. Write this one. So whatever I'm teaching advanced Java, it is more than enough. No need to learn other things. It's more than enough. Core Java, n number of days you learn, it is not going to end. That much practice required. Core Java. So here do filter, here do filter. What's the difference is here solid request, solid response, here HTTP solid request, HTTP solid response. So HTTP solid concepts, if you want to use HTTP solid request, solid response concepts, you require this do filter. So do filter, is it overloading or overriding? Overloading, overriding study, no? Is it overloading or overriding? This do filter, this do filter. Filter interface to generic solid, generic filter to HTTP filter, overriding. But these two filters, is it overloading or overriding? Overloading. Parameter list is different. It is solid request, solid response. Here, HTTP solid request, HTTP solid response. Overloading. It is overridden. After that, overloaded. Filter interface contain this method. It is overridden in generic solid to HTTP solid, generic filter, HTTP filter. Again, overloaded with different parameters. Okay. Is it over? Now, say here in generic filter, here we don't have methods you observe. Other methods are there. That do filter overridden here only. In HTTP filter only overridden. HTTP filter overridden. Say here. Do filter not overridden. Init method is there. Get filter name, get filter config, get init parameter, these all. Okay. Now, try this one. Jakarta.solid.filter. It's an interface, super interface. Jakarta.solid.generic filter. It is a class. Jakarta.solid.htp filter. It's an interface. It's abstract class. It's an abstract class. Same solid concept only. Interface. Abstract class. It is also abstract class. So after filters, I'll start JSP, Java Server Payers. JDBC, solid listeners, filters. After that, JSP. Jakarta.solid.filter is interface. Jakarta.solid.generic filter is abstract class. Jakarta.solid.htp filter is abstract class. If you want to use HTTP specific services, go for HTTP filter. Suppose you want to apply session tracking also here. Then compulsory HTTP filter you have to select. Session tracking, redirecting not possible with generic filter. Solid request, solid response. Okay. This is theory part. That program how to implement we'll see tomorrow.